So, firstly, let's talk about the latest progress that has been going on. Okay, I think everybody else can hear me, so the problem is not from here.
So I think it will be available on YouTube anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah, so don't worry, I'll put it up. You can view it there. I've seen that not many people have seen the videos, or at least the full videos that I've uploaded. So if you have not done, you should do that so that you can keep up with whatever we are studying. I'll put up a link here um, so that here you put it here. I'll put it here in the link so that you can view the previous one. And then we are going to discuss, the first thing we have to discuss is that the latest the change in policies made by our management is that we will have some physical classes after this lockdown is over. Even if it extends to 30th May, even then we will have some classes in June and probably have our exams in July. So it will be an extended semester, and if there are any presentations or anything like that, then they will be done in that 4 weeks time. So we will also revise everything that we are studying these days, and we can catch up with that as well. So don't worry about it, but try to learn as much as you can in these times as well. Do not waste that. In fact, I would recommend that this is a better time to learn in this sense that you don't have to, at least most of you don't have to go to your offices, and you can spend some time on the internet searching for things. So I'll be giving you some material of videos and text and other things along with some assignments. I've already given you 2 assignments. I'll give you more of those to do them so that you can learn as much as possible. Last time we discussed we started the chapter of perception. There is a video that I'll be sharing with you. I'll make that video clip separately to make you understand how perception really works. But that will require some objects and some animation, so I'll be doing that differently. And in this session, we'll be talking about the theory behind the perception. So let's start on that. Firstly, we discussed the first part of perception, and in that we discussed that the first condition for perception is exposure of stimulus. So as soon as the stimulus is exposed to us, exposed to our senses, which means our sight and smell and taste and sound, so then we are able to perceive any stimulus, and then the message can be received by us. And then we discussed how the exposure can be measured, and we also discussed how this exposure is avoided by people because they want to reduce their information processing, so they want to avoid information as much as possible, and therefore we have the phenomena of zipping, zapping, and muting in television, and how it is countered by the help of road blocking. So we discussed all that. Now let's move on to the next condition of perception, which is attention. Uh,
So I have a question. What is zipping and zapping? What you just said.
we discussed it in the last class. Zipping means if you want it in detail, you can watch that video. So
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
zipping means that you go from one channel, you zip through the channels from a certain point. For example, you start off with channel number 3 on your television, and you move from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to a certain point, maybe 50 or 60 or 70 till your channels are there. And you keep on moving to find a better content that you would like to view on television. That's called zipping. And the other process is called zapping, in which you don't move in a sequence, rather than you already remember the channel numbers and you switch to the relevant channel numbers only. So you move from, back and forth between these channels. That's called zapping. So we use zipping and zapping to avoid unwanted content. For example, there is a drama that we are watching, and there is a commercial break, and we uh, avoid those commercials by moving forward to other channels, and then we come back after a certain time to watch that drama again. That's how we avoid information that is unwanted, unsolicited information. So, the way to counter this habit of people is to block the road, which means to have to force the viewer to view that advertisement by airing it on different channels. So we discussed that. The next topic is called attention, which means that attention is the first thing is that the stimulus is exposed to. But there is a problem. We cannot actually listen to or hear or taste or see everything all at once. In fact, our brains are programmed to process only one or few things at a time. We cannot process many things at a time. The uh, the line that actually, it's like you can say that there is a pipeline of information that goes into our brain, and that is very narrow. So very few things can actually reach the portion of the brain where it processes this information. We have to exclude everything else, even if it is being exposed to us. So if you are hearing multiple sounds, it's not likely that you will be able to process everything, every single sound. Not possible. You even in two different voices, you will not be able to process them separately at the same time. You will have to switch between them for a second, and then you can sit back, but not process them at the same time. Similarly, you cannot see two things at the same time. You can look at something and you can have a feel of what's going on at the other side, but you cannot see exactly two things at the same time. Just like that, you cannot taste more than two things at the same time. If I give you something to eat that is sweet and sour and bitter, all mixed together, you will not be able to taste anything. Let's say it's all the things all at once. You will be tasting the sweet part and then the bitter part and the sour part, but not all at once. So we are limited in our brain processing information. There is a simple exercise that I would recommend you to do. You can do it right now if you want to, and if you do that, you will understand how this works. So what I want you to do is that wherever you are sitting, you can just take your hand, if you're, I'm wearing these sleeves, but you can do that directly. If you can, put your hand here on your arm. Okay. So this part of yours is usually colder than the surface area is colder than the rest of the body. It's usually that. That's why when we are feeling cold, we do like this. We rub this part because we feel cold in this area. So just put your hand, because your hand is usually warm. So put your hand here, and then this is the this is kind of a challenge here. You can feel the warmth of your hand on your shoulder, or you can feel the coldness of this arm by this hand. But you cannot feel both at the same time, because one part of your body is actually feeling warm and the other part is feeling cold. So it gets confused, and therefore it will only do one. It can either feel cold or feel warm. Try it and let me know if you can feel both at the same time. It's not possible really. So you can either feel this hand feeling of warmth on this hand, on this part, or this cold area on this hand, but not both at the same time. Try it. Let me know. I'm waiting.
Yes, sir. I'm feeling warm.
You're feeling warm, and you cannot feel cold at the time that you are feeling warm.
Yes, sir.
And when you are feeling cold, then you cannot feel warm at that time.
Yes, sir.
So it means that the brain can only process cold or warm at the same time. If it is not uh, uh, if it is given to different kinds of uh, to different stimulus, that it will not be able to feel anything, right? Just a second. Power is off. With that, so try this. It will help you. Okay. So no, it's not about the weather. It's about feeling one part of your body on the other part. One part is hot and this part is warm, and one part is cold. We cannot feel both at the same time. That's important. Anyway, so we are limited in our perception. We cannot give attention to many things at the same time. So the research says that we are only able to give attention to about 3 to 7% of the things that are exposed to us. What we are hearing or seeing or tasting or smelling, we can only give attention to about 3 to 7% of them, which means that at least 93% of the things are left without us giving them attention. So we don't really know if something has been exposed to us, which means in a similar way, if we convert that into marketing stimulus, it means that if you watch 100 advertisements, then you will only be actually giving attention to 7 of them. The rest 93 will pass before your eyes, but you will not even give them attention. So, you will not be, the question is which 7 will get that attention. That's the important question. Which of the 7 uh, stimulus out of 100 are going to actually be able to qualify for your attention? So there are a few factors that contribute towards this. For example, the first thing that we need to understand in attention is that the larger thing always receives more attention than the smaller thing. The larger things receive more attention than the smaller things. Now, this large and small is relative, which means that whatever is large is only large if there is something small also present there. So you have to actually see if it is if there is something small, then the larger will get more attention. So you have to put two things together in order to make the larger appear larger. And then the people will see the larger one first and give it more attention. So then we have the second part is color, contrast. Let me give you an example.
Yes, the larger thing, can you, so larger meaning that you perceive as larger, or how do you basically compare smaller and larger?
Sir, please. Well, I can't do anything. I can just increase the audio, but I cannot do anything else about the sound quality. So, but it's recorded here. You can view it. The question is about related to larger and smaller. It means that what I mean is that if you are putting two things in front of somebody, the person is likely to look at the larger part before the smaller part. Usually, okay, let's do this exercise. I can do it with you. I can do this exercise here. Let me just put on a screen and then you will understand what I'm saying. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you. Just look at the screen. I'll put that screen up for 10 seconds or about that. Here you go. So this is the screen.
Right.
And that's it. So now the question is from you guys is how much of this do you remember? How many things can you remember from this? If you have a paper, write them down. How many do you remember? Don't tell anybody here, just write them down.
Screen हट गई है.
Yeah, it was only there for 10 seconds.
I can remember 5 of them.
Just write them down. Don't
Maju.
anybody.
Adam.
You don't.
सर मुझे बिल्कुल आपकी वीडियो नजर नहीं आ रही है, उसमें आवाज आ रही है.
मैं उसके बारे में क्या कह सकता हूँ? Say I am sorry about that, but
I can hear you clear. I think if when we
here you have to check.
Even I can hear you clearly and see the video.
Yeah. So probably the problem is on the other side. So anyway, if you're done writing, then now you can share how many things have you remember. So
yeah, I remember 5 things.
Okay.
So that I saw. Should I say the name?
Yeah. I'll share.
Maju.
Yeah.
The Maju, Black, Rama, Pakistan, Coca-Cola.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen again. Let me
Done.
again. Okay. So you can see Marju and Coca-Cola and Black and Pakistan. So my question from you is, did anybody get more than 8? Did anybody remember more than 8? Anyone remember more than 5?
I did not even remember the single answer.
Okay.
7 no sir. Sir 7 तक याद थे.
ठीक है. So what were which the 7 were? I
सर किसी का ऑडियो खुला was not clear sir.
you speak up. You tell me how many of these do you remember?
सर स्टोर, कोका-कोला, रोज, एक जो वहाँ बना था रोज, मार्क जकरबर्ग, पाकिस्तान, लव,
Love.
बस.
Right. So the point is this, that most people will remember Coca-Cola and Mark Zuckerberg, maybe some people. Interestingly, the rate of people remembering Mark Zuckerberg has increased a lot in the last years. I made this picture about 9 years ago, and from that time I've been showing this to people, and 9 years ago people did not know Mark Zuckerberg that well. So very few people actually saw the name. They were not able to give attention to a name that they did not know beforehand. So it means that you only give attention to things that you already know. Interestingly, our mind skips those parts of the information that we are exposed to for the first time. So just like that, you are not able, when you looked at the picture, you saw Coca-Cola and it's already there in your mind. So it might pick it up very quickly. And there were other words that were related, for example, Maju and Pakistan and Bangladesh. But very, very few people or hardly anybody could be able to remember bad or pork or gulf or life or the date or the binary sequence that I wrote. Hardly if you even could have watched that for 30 seconds, maybe you would still not have remembered the binary sequence, because it would require a lot of brain processing to remember the zeros and ones. You might remember that there was a date, a particular date there, but you won't remember which date it was. So this shows that we are only able to process, and this happened when you were told to give attention to this picture. So you excuse me, please.
नहीं खुल सकता, भले कोरोना लग जाए, लेकिन समोसा घर में चलाना जरूरी है.
अब आप लोगों को आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. कभी थोड़ी दरमियान में खराब हो गई, कभी आवाज आ रही।
Okay. Okay. Let's get back to our video. I don't know who is joining this conference and why and what's going on, but something weird happened. Anyway, um, so we were talking about attention and perception, and we saw that in the picture you could only remember a few things in that picture. It was actually um, being shown to you. I told you to look at the picture. If I had asked you not to look at the picture beforehand, you would have remembered even fewer things. So that happens in usually that people are not able to give attention to those things. So looking at the picture again, we will see that you remembered black. But now black you remembered because it was in the center of the whole frame. So one of the factors that we have is that the center point of any frame is given most attention. That's why in every print advertisement that you see in press ads, you will always see that the product is in the center because we give it most attention. Next, the size of that thing. For example, Coca-Cola had a larger size than the other words as compared to bad and salt and gulf. These words were smaller in text, so they were not given more attention. You get the idea? Amir Saab will ask him what does it mean by larger and smaller. So this is what I mean. When you want to give attention to a particular text, then you have to have some smaller text there which actually gives the impression that something else is larger. So it works like that. Then you give attention to these things that you knew already. That the things that are in contrast actually are you give more attention to them. I'll show you another picture which will help you understand this thing. The contrast. So look at this picture. Okay, if you look at the left side of the picture, you will probably be going here. You will probably be looking here, this part. If you just look at the left only, you can put your hand on the right part and just look at this. You will probably follow a route here, looking here, and then probably looking at this part. But if you look at the right side, your attention will shift to this part where the pink flowers are. So this will happen because there is a contrast of color here, which is not at the left side. Without color contrast at this side. So this color contrast Okay. So you got it. You can see picture. Did you guys see the picture or not? The contrast.
Yes, we did.
Sorry. Yes, sir.
Yes, we
Yes.
did see the picture.
Okay. So you got the idea that how contrast really works. So when you looked at the part where didn't have contrast, you didn't see the sides of the picture. But when there was a contrast at the pink flower, then you saw that. So your mind shifted your attention to the ones that were contrasting. Therefore, let me show you another one, how the contrast should work. This is the color contrast wheel, and so if you look at this, then you will see that this this color and this color is much clearer. When you have yellow in violet or blue in yellow, then it's much easier to see as compared to these two colors that are not effective because they are not in contrast with each other. So we should always use a contrast because that catches more attention. If you have a text written in this manner, if you have a text of red written on orange background, then it will not have a good impact. It will not catch the attention of people. So let me show you another picture. So, for example, look at this one. So which of the color do you see first?
Yellow.
Yellow. Most people will look at the yellow one because there is only one yellow and the others are the white bit. So you understand? There are two terms that we usually use with this in this situation. In any of the frames that we see, we can divide them into two kinds of two parts. The, the first we call the figure. The figure means that whatever we are trying to show is called the figure. And whatever is supporting that figure is called the ground. So here the yellow part automatically becomes the figure and the rest becomes the ground or the background if you want to say that. But usually we call it ground because it helps us in supporting the figure. If there were different colors, there was red and purple and orange there, then you would not be able to focus on the yellow. The green and blue have been multiplied many times actually support your shifting to the attention or your attention to the yellow part. That's why you will see the yellow part more. So let's take another example and look here. Which person will you look at? The one who is upside down will get more attention and you will remember that person more because that is in contrast, that is different from the others. So we have
Casual form.
and which is the one who is different from the others will be always given more attention. Similarly here, the alien, you will look at the alien, you will not look at the others, right? Here,
The yellow smiling face.
yeah. So you see this contrast in the colors actually help you to focus your attention on a single point. Therefore, we should design our messages in such a way that they give attention, they take our attention to a certain point. Another good example of using space is that is this advertisement, a very famous advertisement from a long time ago. This is a long time ago when Volkswagen was introduced for the first time. Now look at this advertisement and tell me what's weird about it.
ऑक्सी सर
What's weird?
Well, sir, it's not much information, and whatever information is available is in very small font. You can
Yeah.
read it.
So there is nothing, even though there is nothing, there is this blank space in this advertisement, and there is a small car. Obviously, you should have bigger car that was stretched from here, a larger car, but that was not so. Instead, the car was small. Why? In fact, you would not perceive it as small if there was a road here. अगर यहाँ पर एक रोड होती और ये यूं जा रही होती कोई scenic उस scenic beauty की वजह से आपको जो है वो ये
Even there is nothing to compare this car with, in my opinion.
being compared to if you put your mic on, you will be able to mute. So because of this advertisement has a lot of space, that space actually gives the perception that this car is small, and that is what they wanted to show. They wanted to show that this is a small car. So it was the first small car. Before that, who is this? Okay. Okay. Now I guess
Yes, there are some guys who are doing this since yesterday. They did this in our class yesterday, HRM Kemari class, and they disturbed the whole class.
so who are these
They
guys?
are joining, we don't know, sir. They're joining with stupid names, and then they basically, do stupid things. And we just saw, थोड़ी देर पहले इन्होंने जो है ना audios जो है ना started playing those audios for the public. ठीक है ना, even though it shows कि उनकी तरबियत किस किस्म की है family में, ठीक है ना, but they don't understand, and they are basically everybody is getting disturbed because of these people. They don't seem to realize. I don't know. Khalid Saab was our teacher yesterday, and he kept asking, who are you two guys? They did not respond. They did not tell their name. And today as well, they are here at least. Today is joined with the name Corona and the virus. So I don't know who these people are. Can you send them so that they can check it wrong? Their ID or something?
So how are they getting this access?
So actually they are from our class only, joining with different names.
They are people from our class.
लेकिन शिवनाथ आमिर भाई, ये जब ये इस तरह की वीडियोस चल रही, ऑडियोस आ रही है, तो जो चैट है, सॉरी, जिसमें लिस्ट है, जिसमें सारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनमें इनका नाम शो नहीं हो रहा है. मैंने खुद चेक किया है.
Hey, Abid, now I can see there is one with Jeffrey. And you can see that person, and we don't know who this person is. I don't know why they're ashamed of their names and not sharing their names. Everyone else is basically.
तो कोई और स्टूडेंट्स के अलावा जो हमारे जिनको करने की लिंक सेंड किया है, उसके अलावा तो कोई क्लास में आ भी नहीं सकता है. हाँ, तो जो लोग जिनका नाम, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं अगर अपना नाम कुछ भी अलग रखूं, तो आपको थोड़ी ना पता चलेगा कि कौन है कौन नहीं है.
There are people who are basically doing this. Let's ignore them for now and let's move forward because this is what we want.
Yeah. So that we'll think of what we can do about them later. Anyway,
Exactly.
So we are discussing this, and I will give you some examples. And so let's go back to the examples. Share my screen. So yeah. So for the last picture,
अगर पॉसिबल है तो आप अपनी दोबारा से आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि आपकी आवाज और वीडियो कुछ भी नजर नहीं आ रहा है.
it's not on my part. People are hearing me and seeing me. There's some other.
सर आप हेल्प कर रहे हैं, किसी को भी ऑडियो और वीडियो समझ में नहीं आ रही.
वीडियो सही है आपकी और ऑडियो भी सही है.
सेम ईयर, वीडियो भी ठीक है, ऑडियो भी सही है. मुझे कुछ भी सुनाई नहीं दे रहा, ना कुछ दिखाई दे रहा है.
सर ऑडियो में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है.
If somebody can.
बहुत देर बाद मुझे कल की आवाज आ रही है.
अरे इंटरनेट प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है.
It's not my problem.
मेरे पास भी
अगर किसी
मुझे भी आवाज ना रुक रुक के आ रही है.
So the thing is, if anybody, even one person can hear me and see me both, then it means that the problem is not on my part. Please understand it. Okay. So mute your.
And the other thing is,
Yeah.
available होगा sir YouTube पे, so they can watch it there.
Yeah. Record तो हो रहा है ना, आप परेशान हो. So just try to keep up with what we are doing right now. And so in this picture, the question is, which person will you look at? Not much contrast, and yet you will look at probably the center one. So the center one is given most attention. Okay, so you get the idea. And so you see, and then we can add one to another part, which is that we usually give attention to those things that have movement. The moving thing, if there is a moving thing, for example, there's a web banner in which something is moving, it catches our attention. But if there is a web banner that is static, it is less likely to catch our attention. So movement catches our attention. If we sum it all up, we see the center of the frame, we see the things that are larger, we see that the contrasting element, we give more attention to it, and then we have the movement. We give more attention to things that are relevant to us, and we give attention to those that are already known, that are already in our mind. So we give attention to these things more as compared to others. Now this also tells us why we hire celebrities and in advertising, because celebrities are people with high recognition. We recognize these people easily. That's why they are called celebrities. So when we are looking at an advertisement and there is a celebrity there, we are likely to give it more attention because in the first look we recognize that person. When we recognize that person, our brain connects that to the image in our mind, and we give it more attention, and therefore we also give attention to the message that is given in that advertisement. So that's why we use celebrities, because they have high recognition in people, and we give attention to those things that are relevant to us, or we already have them in our life.
And so maybe that's the reason why when companies hire a celebrity, they have a contract that you cannot work with another company.
Yeah.
So that the image is attached with us, not anyone else.
Yeah. If the celebrities appear in too many advertisements in the same time period, then our sensitivity towards them decreases, and we do not give them as much attention that we would normally give. So we have to use them very smartly. That's a whole topic. Celebrity endorsement is a whole topic in advertising. So we study advertising, then we will understand. So we've covered this, that in attention, these are the things that we should look for. These are the factors that help us in designing an advertisement or any kind of stimulus that is more effective in getting attention. It has contrast, the size of the picture, the frame, if there is movement in it, the relevance, and all of these things improve the chances of it getting attention. Then we also have to see if whatever we have created as a stimulus, is it really working? So we have to measure the attention as well. If it is, if people are really attending to it. So one part of attention, the one way to measure attention is to have a pilot testing in which there is something called eye tracking, which means that you track the eye movement of the people watching a certain video or a text or a picture. You put them in a room and they see these advertisements, and then their eyes are tracked to see which part of the advertisement they give more attention to, and that tells us that our product was really getting attention or not. So this is called eye tracking. And then we have another way to do this, and another way to measure attention is to have what is called a day after recall, DAR, day after recall. Day after recall means that you show a particular advertisement to a group of people, and it may be a print advertisement or it may be a video, it can be anything. And then after 24 hours, you ask them about the certain information about the advertisement. We don't really say what was the advertisement about, but really go into the detail. What was being said, who appeared in the advertisement, or what was the offer made in the advertisement, what was the product about, what was the price, anything like that. Even go to even minute details like what color was the celebrity, what color of clothing was he or she wearing. So then we ask about these recalls, and then we have different kinds of recalls. For example, we have unaided recall, we have aided recall, and then we have related recall. Unaided recall means that you did not have to help the other person to remember uh, what uh, uh, what what was in the advertisement. For example, you showed 10 advertisements to a person, and then you ask the other day which 10 advertisements were there. If that person is able to recall eight of them, which means that eight of those got more attention and they were able to be registered in the unaided recall. The recall did not have to be aided. People did not have to be told that you watched this yesterday. This is called unaided recall, which is the good kind of recall. The weaker kind of recall is the aided recall, which means we tell them that you saw an advertisement of a detergent yesterday. Do you remember now? They say yes. Oh yes, you remember the detergent, and you remember that it was about this. Yes, and then they start to recall something. That's called aided recall. And then another kind of recall is called related recall. Related recall means that you remember the crux of the advertisement. That's one thing. But what do you remember about other things? Like what was happening in the background? What were the people doing? What was the maybe the phone number that was mentioned? What was the color of the end screen? So these kinds of questions are included in related recall, and they also tell us how much attention people give to our advertisement. In this way, we can measure the attention of people. That's called day after recall. So day after recall has these is a major, eye tracking is a major, and then we have uh, other means in which we can measure attention. We can actually have a survey, and we can that survey can be done to include people like for example, we ask people on the road if you have seen this billboard that's that will be played on Shara Festival. Did you see it? What was it about? Or have a survey of which radio station do you remember that you last tuned into. So if they really remember, then they will let you, and they will have a good recall of it. So these are some ways that you can measure the attention of particular stimulus or channels or any kind of advertisement. So we've covered attention so far. So we know how that works. Now, after attention, the next part of perception is called interpretation. Now, before we go on to interpretation, the question is if everybody has understood attention properly. If there is any question, we can ask. There is a question. Should I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's talk about interpretation. Now, first thing was this, that some stimulus is exposed to us. The second was that out of these many stimuli, we are giving attention to some of the things, some of the stimuli, 7% or whatever. So we are giving our attention to few of them. When we are giving attention to few of them, even then, the question is, will that really impact us? Even if you give attention to something, doesn't mean that it will have an impact, or it doesn't mean that if I watch a certain advertisement, I also buy that product. So how do we know that that person will have some action? The point is that the third part of perception is whenever you are giving attention to something, then we are also going to interpret it, which means we draw meaning from that. So drawing meaning from any stimulus is also part of perception. Until we have some meaning drawn, we have not completed the process of perception. So we are just along the way. If you just give it some attention, still if you do not give it meaning, it will not remain in our mind. So we have to give it meaning. Now and the question arises, how do we give it meaning? Does it not have meaning of its own? The thing is that stimuli have meaning, but they are not 100% objective. All the things in the world are interpreted by people, which means everybody will see the things differently. They will draw some meaning out of it. So they will see them, they will interpret them differently. Let's take an example. I'll show you a picture and then I'll ask you what you see in that picture. So let's look at this. And tell me what you see.
So two things, a young lady and an old lady.
Old lady. So how many of you see the old lady only?
I can see both.
You can see.
I could only see that.
Only you can see young lady. Okay. Only see young lady.
Lady princess. Old lady and black and white.
Old lady, you can see the old lady only.
Sir, young lady princess type.
Yeah. Some people can only see the old lady, not the young lady. Right? So if you are seeing an old lady, it means that you are seeing this part as a nose, this part as the mouth, this is as the chin, these are the eyes. If you are seeing this as a young lady, you are actually seeing that this person is looking this way, and this is the nose, this is the chin, these are the ears, these are the eyes, and she's looking this way, while the old lady is looking this way, downwards. So the difference in these two pictures, when we see them differently, they are interpreted by us differently. That's why we see them as differently. Similarly, there is a question about this. You can actually see what's written below. You can actually try it. Put your fingers, they are both the same color, you will not believe it.
Yes, sir, both are the same.
Both are grey.
Both are the same, right? But you put your finger in between them, they both become the same. Otherwise, they seem different. So, how is this happening? This is because we are interpreting things differently and our eyes are deceiving us or our ears are deceiving us. This is happening. We have
So
to
one is
understand how it works.
flashing and the dark grey.
Both are the same. When you put your finger in between, then you will see that they are the same color. Put your finger in the middle, then you will see. Put finger here, then you will see. So, another example of perception is of interpretation is this. Can you see it? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
The child is perceived with the other way around.
Yeah, you can see that uh, this shows a different interpretation by the child. The child is told that you have to go outside and play, but the child thinks that going outside and playing the video game. So this is like an interpretation that is made on the part of child. So interpretation works in this way. Let me share another picture. Interpretation. So again, an example. Let me expel this person. Okay. Please mute your mic so that you can hear me properly. Okay. Let's get back to our topic. And yes, we were talking about this, that these things are interpreted differently. Now, let's move on. I'll going to show you a picture that will tell you something about perception of colors. Here you go. So, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. The girls see each and every shade of it, but the boys not just the color.
Yeah.
तो ये प्रॉब्लम ही रियलिटी है.
Let me.
Sir, boys के लिए colors सिर्फ limited होते हैं, लेकिन girls उसमें से भी pink shades plus होते हैं. हर shades को जानती है और समझती है.
The research is that women are more detail oriented, while men basically look at things cursory level, look at things. I think that's what it's showing.
सर कुछ तो कलर ब्लाइंड भी होते हैं हमारे जैसे.
So it's showing basically. It's showing that the same colors are visible to both the genders, but the women are able to identify each color differently, while boys on the other hand are looking, for example, from here to here it's called green, and from here to here it's called blue, from here to here it's called pink. For them, each color is different. So that's interpretation. You are interpreting them differently, and that's something.
And still there are so many missing. There are so many shades missing.
Yeah, right. For us, there are too many.
I think there are so many colors. She's saying that it's something like
Okay. So, okay. Let me show you.
Sir, attention,
Yeah.
sir, attention and interpretation ये दोनों related करके एग्जाम्पल अगर हम बता देंगे.
Attention and interpretation, these are both parts of perception. But first, when we give the attention to certain stimulus, then we start giving it, we start interpreting it. We give it different meanings. This is a big topic. We are not going to cover it today because I'm just starting it here. But actually, it's a big topic. We are going to discuss it slowly, and we are going to do that. So this guy.
सर सर काइंडली ये जो पिक्चर थी कलर वाली दोबारा एक दफा समझा देंगे. वीडियो स्टॉप हो गई थी.
Okay. I want to tell this person whoever he is to not show up again and again because it's not working anyway. Okay. Which picture? The cover picture?
Yes sir.
Okay. Here you go. You see the difference in the interpretation,
Yes sir.
right?
सर इसमें क्या ये
Yeah.
गर्ल्स उसकी तरफ इशारा पर्पल की तरफ जा रहा है और उनका पिंक की तरफ आ रहा है बॉयज को.
नहीं. These are different colors from top to
Yes sir.
bottom. The men
जी
see most of these brackets लगे हुए हैं ना,
जी जी
ब्रैकेट्स बता रहे हैं कि ये बॉयज सी दिस ऑल दिस इज पर्पल, दिस इज पर्पल, दिस इज पर्पल, दिस इज पर्पल, वो सबको पर्पल कह रहे हैं.
सही.
जबकि जो वुमेन
या
वो हर एक के लिए उसके लिए अलग अलग कलर है.
डिफरेंट लाइन. यस सर. यस ओके सर. समझ आ गया.
ठीक है.
यस सर. डन. थैंक यू.
तो एक और
ऑनलाइन बैंकिंग का चक्कर नहीं है दुनिया भर.
how long this is going to go on?
सर आप कैन यू ब्रॉडकास्ट?
I can only expel them and I have done that 6 times over.
Sir, what's the class on sir? Hello, sir, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
सर हमारी चैट लिस्ट में डॉक्टर जुबैर थी वाइस चांसलर. सर ये सर ये वाइस चांसलर है या फिर ये
नहीं, ये वही
कोई और उनके नाम से आया है?
पहले तो ये कि वो वाइस चांसलर नहीं है ना, वो प्रेसिडेंट. तो ये जो आ रहा है उसको ये नहीं पता, ये बात इतना भी नहीं. दूसरा है कि उसको जुबैर शेख में जो शेख है वो भी नहीं पता. तो ऑब्वियसली ये ऐसे ही बस फन करने के लिए आया.
अच्छा सर, ठीक है. तो सर ऑनलाइन मतलब उसमें हमारी चैट लिस्ट में है वो.
सर अगर आएंगे तो वैसे तो हमें नहीं बता के आएंगे या तो कुछ बताएंगे कि वो आया. हमें तंग कर
ब्लॉक कर दीजिए सर उनको.
कर दिया वो, लेकिन still they keep on appearing again and again. I'll report this to the president actually. This is a big problem. Anyway,
ओके
बिल्कुल
I'll
ये बार बार डिफरेंट नाम से आ रहा है, कोई कोरोना के नाम से आ रहा है, कोई इमरान खान के नाम से आ रहा है। ये अजीबो गरीब सी सर सिचुएशन हो रही है।
उल्टा वायरस
जो सुन रहे हैं उनको भी सर ये वो प्रॉब्लम कर रहे हैं।
हाँ चलें छोड़ें। लुक एट दिस, थोड़ा सा अपना मुंह सही करें एंड एक वीडियो दिखाता हूँ पूरी इंटरप्रिटेशन हाउ डिफरेंट एक्चुअली जेंडर्स
जी सर।
इंटरप्रेट कलर्स डिफरेंटली। ठीक है, so I'm going to share my screen with you. Here you go. मे भी आपने देखा हो, अपने माइक बंद कर लीजिएगा। थोड़ा सा आगे कर देता हूँ।
मुझे तो सारे लाल लग रहे थे।
तो
नॉट द आइडिया सर।
समझ में आया।
मूड अच्छा हो गया।
चले देखते हैं इनका। ओह ये आ गया वापस।
Excuse me, sir, I have a question.
जी
अच्छा सर, आपने कहा कि जेंडर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन भी होती है, तो क्या एज वाइज भी हम जब परसेप्शन हमारी चेंज होती है?
बिल्कुल चेंज होती है, बिल्कुल चेंज होती है। हम बहुत सारी चीजों को when we are children then we see them in a different way, we look at those things, we are not able to see the jokes and things। बहुत सारे ऐसे जोक्स होते हैं जो हमें समझ में नहीं आते कि ये क्या है, वो बड़े होने के बाद समझ में आते हैं कि बात क्या हो रही है। The things that we see and between the lines, that are also a part of our interpretation. How we interpret things that are actually not being said, how we interpret silence, those things we learn with time. And obviously children are not able to interpret those things as much as adults. So it has a difference. We will actually study very deeply about interpretation, because there are so many things about interpretation that we need to know. But I'm not going to stretch this way too much, because it's already been about 75 minutes, and you guys must be tired too. So let's call it for today. I'll put some videos about attention and this thing, about 10-15 minutes videos. So you go through them as well, and so that you have an idea. And I'll post some one quiz also, which will be related to this particular lecture that we had today. So be sure to watch this, even if you had a bad connection. Go through this lecture again and then attempt that quiz. I'll be sharing that quiz and other things on your Google Classroom.
ये कुछ भी टाइमिंग क्या होगी? कोई टाइम पे?
No, not. And I'll give the quiz. You will probably have till next week to attempt it any time you want.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Don't worry about time. You just focus on the learning.
Sir, yesterday हमारा कोई लोग था तो उस डॉक्टर ने he gave us 1 hour and we had to submit our solutions in 1 hour.
No, don't worry.
That's why I was asking.
I'll give you enough time. Don't worry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So
यस सर टीचर किसी तरीके से क्विज ले रहे हैं सर हाफ आवर दे रहे हैं 1 घंटा दे रहे हैं
नहीं, I'll give you enough time. Don't worry.
सर असाइनमेंट दोबारा सर आपने क्या कहा दोबारा रिपीट कर दी, बिल्कुल आवाज नहीं आई.
There might be some other assignments and quizzes to keep checking the Google Classroom.
I will inform Roha and Uzma.
वैसे सर जब आप कोई रिपोर्ट गूगल क्लासरूम पे तो हम लोगों को मैसेजेस आ जाते हैं
बस ठीक है.
हमारे उसके फोन पे.
Great. Also, if possible, report this to our management that what's going on here. Please do that.
So some person can solve this problem.
Report this to the HOD and also to the
पर्सन सर कोई एक नहीं है 2 ऐसे के.
Yeah.
There are 2 people.
So you also report this. I will also do that. Okay.
We will do that, sir. Yes. Thank you.
Okay then. Allah Hafiz everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay.
अल्लाह हाफिज़ सर.